Cayetano. But first of all, I'd like to thank my colleagues and resource persons who are present for today's hearing on the U.S.-Philippine tariff deal. We'd like to recognize my co-chair, Senator Amy Marcos. Senator, good morning. Yes.
Galing lang si...
Oh, nga. We are sharing resource persons. That's why I made mine a bit late para makasama na. So, again, I'd like to recognize my dear colleague. Also, Senator Robin Hood Padilla is with us.
Kagagaling lang namin.
Also from our committee and the Committee on Foreign Affairs Relations. I believe Senator Gatchalian will be joining us as well in a few minutes. So if you allow me to make an opening statement so that we can just proceed forthwith.
Organization.
So this is also an organizational meeting of our committee. Tapos ka na, di ba? Yes, you did yours yesterday.
Rock and roll na kami.
Yes, so we'd like to also put for the record that this organizational meeting is called to order. And for the information of everyone, Rule 10, Section 13, Paragraph 12, Rules of the Senate provides that the committee has jurisdiction over all matters relating to economic planning and programming, planning of domestic and foreign public indebtedness, general economic development, and coordination, regulation, and diversification in industry and investments. We are pleased to inform everyone that the committee has now been duly constituted with 11 members and representation, this representation being your chairperson. We'd like to also recognize my vice chair who just arrived, Senator Win Gatchalian, and also Senator Lauren Legarda as our vice chairpersons. And members of the committee are Senators J.V. Ejercito, Senators Rodante Marcoleta, Bam Aquino, Pia Cayetano, Lito Lapid, Amy Marcos, Robin Hood Padilla, and Francis Kiko Pangilinan. They are joined by ex-officio members, Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva, Senate Minority Leader Vicente Soto III, and Senate President Pro Tem Jinggoy Ejercito Estrada. At this point, we'd also like to declare presence of a quorum. And now we shall be proceeding with the business at hand. To the members of the committee, I move that we adopt the rules of the Senate and the rules of procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation to serve as our guiding principles of this committee.
Yes, we so move.
Thank you. There's a motion duly seconded. These established rules already provide a comprehensive framework of our operations, hearings, and investigations. Rather than creating a new set of rules, it is more efficient course of action to simply adhere to the existing framework. We now will commence with the inquiry in any legislation. And after I make my opening statement, I would like to, of course, ask also my co-chair to give her opening statement as well. So we have called this hearing for the urgent need for us to be informed of and be prepared for the impacts of tariffs in our industries. Based on the pronouncements from President Trump, the Philippine exports to the U.S. will be slapped a 19% tariff, with U.S. exports to the Philippines a 0% tariff. This is just a 1% reduction from President Trump's earlier pronouncement in July 9 of 2025, but a 2% increase from his Liberation Day announcement in April 2, 2025. So he mentioned basically in the beginning that we would be slapped with 17%, then it became 20% and then went back down to 19%. So the question is, did we really gain anything? Or lugi pa ba tayo, as what critics are saying, considering how President Marcos even hurriedly went to the U.S. for this deal? On top of that, we are a defense treaty ally of the U.S., hosting several U.S. military personnel and armaments in the country. But we don't seem to have any or want any favors compared to our ASEAN and Asian neighbors, particularly the Quad countries. I'll give you an example. Cambodia's tariffs went from a pronounced 36% on July 9, 2025, down to 19%, or a reduction of 17%. Indonesia went from a proposed 32% on July 9 to 19%, or a decrease of 13%. It was reported, and both prime ministers and presidents did not go to the United States. Malaysia went from a proposed 25% to 19%, a decrease of 6%. Thailand went from a proposed 36% to 19%. It was down 17%. And the Prime Minister as well did not visit the United States at that particular time. Vietnam went down from a proposed 46% on April 2 to 20%, a decrease of 26%. Japan went from 25% on July 9 to 15% for a decrease of 10%. And I believe they also slapped a 15% tariff on US-made products going to their country. And that is also a treaty ally of the United States. South Korea was the same, going from a proposed 25% to 15%, or a decrease of 10%. And China dropped from 145% down to 30%. These are just some of the tariff rates bargained by other countries in comparison to what we got. So we are asking ourselves, are these numbers that we've got something to be proud of? I understand that this is not yet final, and we will listen to our tariff negotiators and the Secretary of the Department of Trade and Industry here. The fine print and details are still being negotiated, as I was told. I'm aware that there's a lot of tariff lines to be considered, and it is unlikely that there will be a single tariff rate for all our exports to the US. But we still need to know, when will the negotiations be finished? When will you inform the stakeholders? Because worried na po ang ating mga negosyante, mga exporters, and of course, farmers on these pronounced statements on television by both our president and President Trump. It seems to me the business as usual tayo sa executive, chillax lang, sabi nga. But we are not panicking kung ano ang mangyayari sa ating export industries or even our agriculture sector if zero tariffs ang papasok and our agricultural imports natin from the US ay matatamaan. The Senate is also kept in the dark, and that's why we called for this hearing. Would this tariff agreement transform to a trade agreement with the US and therefore need Senate concurrence later on, because we are the branch of government that deals with treaties with other countries? Ano ba ang magiging economic impact ng US tariff sa atin? What industries will be affected? And may simulations ba tayo dito? What mitigation measures are we preparing? At naisama na ba ang programang iyan sa National Expenditure Program for 2026? In Thailand, the University of Thai Chamber of Commerce has already projected that their exports will dip roughly 275 billion baht in value next year. That's almost 1.5% of their GDP. This figure includes an estimate directed loss of 256 billion baht due to the tariff increases and a negative impact via global supply chain of 64.7 billion baht. Their possible gain from the trade diversion is estimated at only 45 billion baht. Further, the University of Thai Chamber of Commerce has proposed 6 policy recommendations for their government. Number 1, providing support for affected industries. Number 2, enhancing enforcement of rules of origin. Number 3, diversifying export markets. Number 4, attract high-value foreign direct investments. Number 5, stimulating domestic demand. Number 6, engaging proactive trade diplomacy to support the country's economic growth. Aside from that, the Thai Ministry of Finance has budgeted at least 20 billion baht for relief to cushion the impact of US tariffs on Thai businessmen. And if the amount is insufficient, the government is going to add additional 25 billion baht for fiscal 2026, which begins this October. The relief measures will cover both industrial and agricultural products. Sana all. In India, their government is planning to provide credit guarantees to small businesses and exporters for loans overdue up to 90 days due to the higher tariffs imposed by the US. The Federal Finance Ministry has proposed to provide 10 to 15% credit guarantees to banks for advancing loans to distressed small businesses with turnover of up to 5 billion rupees. The government will also allocate 40 billion rupees for providing guarantees to banks. Further, the Indian government is preparing a scheme to provide term loans for small exporters that will be backed by a government guarantee of a maximum of 70 to 75%. Sa atin, ano ba ang paghahanda natin para dito? how we will allay the fears of the export industry, or survival of the fittest muli ang mangyayari. A lot of stakeholders are relentlessly pondering about the fine print of the so-called reciprocal tariff agreement. Will it hit our industries? Will it hurt our exports? Will our industries want to prepare for the tariffs? But it is near impossible to act when there is no information at all. I must say that I am a bit disappointed that our executive officials have kept us in the dark on these tariff agreements with the US. Not a single official from the executive has approached us in the Senate or volunteered to brief us on the status or outcome of the trade negotiations with the US. And that's why we called for this hearing, ladies and gentlemen. May I then ask Senator Amy Marcos,
Okay.
I will ask her if were you approached or briefed by the executive as chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee on this topic?
No?
Oh, no. So, kaya po nandito po kaming dalawa. And the same question I would have asked to Senator Pia Cayetano, and I'm sure it would have been in the negative. So you see, my dear friends and colleagues in government and in the private sector, no one has approached us or even consulted with us. And we need to file these resolutions to call this hearing for you to come here and tell us the real score. Let us remind the executive officials here, tariffs are not the sole domain of the executive. It is the delegated authority to the president by Congress, and therefore it is primarily in the realm of congressional powers. So do not keep us blindsided with the final outcome of the ongoing negotiations. That is our request. In previous administrations, there was healthier coordination between Congress and the executive. And I remember Ambassador Tihanki would always come to us to brief us on ongoing trade negotiations. This allowed for better integration between lawmaking and implementation. That is the kind of seamless coordination that we'll need between Congress and the executive, particularly on this US tariff deal. So for today's hearing, our goals are simple. We want to know the details of the deal, and we want to know how we are preparing for it. I know we're still in negotiations with them, and there are certain sensitivities in terms of the negotiations. And Yusek Alan Jepti, who's our #1 trade negotiator, has asked me that some he can divulge, some he would rather say an executive meeting together with the secretary, but we can move with broad strokes. And we'll be asking questions on how certain industries will be affected. Tell us lang kung kasama sila, hindi sila kasama, para makapaghanda po ang ating mga kababayan at mga kapatid na nandito na matatamaan, posibleng matamaan nitong trade deals na ito. So yun lamang po, maraming salamat po sa inyo sa pagdating po ninyo. I know it's very busy. I know the House of Representatives is also calling for meetings because it's the budget, and we thank you for coming into these hearings. I would now like to recognize. Yes, we'd like to. No, let's do the opening statement. So it's okay. We'll do that after. So we'd now like to recognize my co-chair, Senator Amy Marcos, also for opening statements, and I'll ask also our colleagues to give theirs. Thank you.
Yes, magandang tanghali po. Gutom na ako, kaya tanghali na. Maraming salamat sa pagdalo ninyo. At unang-una, talagang nanawagan ako ng resolusyon at agaran ng mga in-schedule ng ating mahal na co-chair. Dahil litong-lito na po, hindi lang kami, kundi yung buong sambayanan kung ano talaga ibig sabihin nito. Unang-una, ang sinabi ni Presidente Marcos nung pumunta siya, nagkaroon na daw ng tapos na deal, nagkapirmahan na, nag-shake hands na, nag-picture taking na. Ang sabi ni Presidente Trump, zero tariff ang lahat ng US exports. Pinaliwanag naman ni Pangulo Bongbong na hindi naman daw zero lahat. So nagkakaiba dun. Conflicting reports on the exact contents of the trade deal that may or may not have been finished by Yusek Jepti, hindi ko po alam. DTI at yung OSEPEA issued statements that, on the other hand, negotiations are still ongoing. Despite statements from DTI and OSEPEA, reports indicate that, in fact, the Philippines has agreed to eliminate nearly all tariffs and non-tariff barriers to U.S. imports while strengthening intellectual property protection and increasing U.S. imports. Meron din mga report that the U.S. reserves the right to terminate the agreement at any time, imposing all kinds of reservations with any country of concern, and Furthermore, there is a military component. Ano ba talaga ang nilalaman nito? At bakit kinailangan pumunta sa Amerika samantalang 19%? Pare-pareho, pantay-pantay lang naman sa 5 na ASEAN nations. Ni hindi tayo